Hey, all you Minties, this is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for your advanced look at the Fantastic Four, Fate of the Four. We're going to be talking about what exactly is collected in here and where it fits in the reading order of the Fantastic Four. So, stay tuned. Before getting started, a huge thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of this oversized hardcover. So this book is due out in the book market and direct market on December 7th. There's not going to be any more delays. I believe the shipments have already been sent out to retailers, so it should be out this week. So, Fantastic Four, Fate of the Four. I mentioned that it was an oversized hardcover, and that means it's bigger than your trade paperbacks and as tall as the omnibus editions. 9 times out of 10, they're not as wide. I've done a video on the different kind of collected editions if you want to check that out, because they're just oversized hardcovers. So we saw the front. Let's take a closer look at the spine. You have the Marvel logo, Fantastic Four, Fate of the Four, Zdarsky, Chung, Perez, and Skitty, with this picture right here of Ben and Johnny. And then the back here with a picture from Jim Chung of Johnny and Ben. The book retailing for $39.99, and I forgot to even credit the cover artist, which is Paul Renaud. So, really quick, when does this take place? Because it is an interesting era of the Fantastic Four, and I'll talk about that more when I open the book up and show some of the artwork and talk a little bit about the story. But this takes place after Secret Wars. So if you're reading just Fantastic Four and you skip Secret Wars, the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, this is the final volume of the Fantastic Four by James Robinson. This is The End is Forever. And if you want to read where the Fantastic Four appear next, well, they're kind of scattered about because after Secret Wars something happens, which I do have to talk about because it sets the stage of this. So it happens after this, and before, and a little bit during issue 1 of Dan Slott's Fantastic Four relaunch. So that's what I'll talk about exactly in there. So this is pretty much what it would look like. This should sit, if you just collect oversized hardcovers, right before Fantastic Four by Dan Slott. Alright, now that we've talked about where it fits in, let's take a look at it under the dust jacket. Actually, I hardly do this. I don't know why. But here is what the flaps look like. You have the creator bios over here on the right flap, and on the left flap, it's a little bit about what the story's about. The image on the actual book board, the front and the back and the spine, is a connecting image of the cover by, this I think is Nick Bradshaw, if I'm not mistaken. There's a very Arthur Adams look to it, so it's got to be Nick Bradshaw. Actually, I think this is what the cover actually looked like. But let's go ahead and crack this open, talk a little bit about what the story exactly is, and why I mentioned that some of this takes place right in the middle or after issue 1 of Dan Slott's run. Alright, let's get this book open. We have some purple end pages here. Fantastic Four, Fate of the Four. Another image here by Jim Chung. And here are your credits. Chip Zdarsky writing the entire book. And then the credits for the artist. So you do have Jim Chung, you have Valerio Skitty, Declan Shalvey, and Ramon Perez doing... Actually, Ramon Perez drawing the last half of the book. So, kicking it off with issue number 1 of what exactly? Well, this is Marvel 2-in-1, number 1. So, there was a series called Marvel 2-in-1 back in the day that just featured Ben Grimm, the Thing, and teaming up with other lesser-known Marvel characters. Whether they were villains or whether they were good guys, whether they were trying to make you explore more of the Marvel Universe by making you read Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing and whomever, that's the title. And it was there for a long time. It was a very popular title. So it was interesting that they decided to bring it back. So this time around, it's the Thing and the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. So, really quickly, well, where's Reed Richards? Where's Sue Richards? Where are the kids? Where's Valeria and Franklin? Well, during the events of Secret Wars, not the original Secret Wars, but the 2015 Secret Wars, Marvel decided that's where they're going to put an end to the Fantastic Four title. Of course, there were plenty of rumors. It was because Fox owned the rights to the movies, and Marvel Comics was like, okay, well, we'll show you guys. None of that has ever actually come out. Like, those are just rumors. I have no idea. I don't work for either Marvel nor Fox. What's the other studio I was thinking about? Disney? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, those were the rumors that were flying around. Regardless, the title got canceled. Secret Wars, something happens. Something happens to the family. However, we still have Johnny Storm and the Thing still in the Marvel Universe. So they decided to focus more on those characters because they were scattered about. Whether you see Johnny Storm hanging out with the Inhumans or Ben just randomly appearing in an issue of a Marvel comic, they wanted to kind of bring this back and kind of make it like a search for the Fantastic Four. So this collects Marvel 2-in-1, 1 through 12. That is the 2017 series, as well as the only annual from that 2017 series, annual number 1. And that's what this feels like. There's a lot of emotion in here. There's a lot of, holy crap, this is a horrible time for the Fantastic Four. It's all about Ben mourning, the death of his friends, because he doesn't know if he's ever going to see them. And then out of nowhere, this is another thing I have to talk about, comes Doom. Now, Doom looks a lot different, and he's acting a lot different than what most people are probably used to if you've been reading only the Fantastic Four and are not familiar with this era. Well, there was another event called Civil War, and I'm not going to spoil exactly what happened in Civil War 2, but they did away with the character of Tony Stark. Something happens at the end of that Tony Stark kind of went away for a while, and stepped in Dr. Von Doom. Victor Von Doom becomes the insufferable Iron Man. Yeah, I realize it's the infamous Iron Man, but it's Brian Michael Bendis. Anyway, that was a joke. Bad one at that. Doesn't matter. So he becomes the infamous Iron Man. So he's filling in this superhero role. So Marvel was making him into a superhero, and that's why he kind of shows up here acting a little bit different than what you're probably used to and looking like Iron Man with a cloak. Now, this is also about how Ben and mainly Johnny Storm are kind of losing their powers and becoming really extreme. Like, Johnny's kind of losing it. So Ben decides, okay, we gotta do something. So, through Victor, they get the last will and testament, the living will of Reed Richards, talking about if something were to happen to them, please, never stop exploring, never stop being fantastic, go out there, there's a whole multiverse out there. And I think that was a very sentimental, beautiful way to explore grief. Like, don't stop living because we're gone. I love that. I think Zdarsky handled that with class, and it was handled well. Then you have this wonderful artwork here by Jim Chung. So now he has to stop old Hothead to listen. Like, hey, look, man, we gotta explore. We gotta go out to the multiverse. Now, sadly, there is a secret with that I'm not gonna spoil, that he doesn't tell Johnny. But Ben is the only one. Ben and Dr. Doom, or I'm sorry, infamous Iron Man, are the only two that know that secret. And whether Johnny finds out or not, well, if you've read Fantastic Four currently, you probably know he finds out eventually. So they're looking for something specific to make this multiverse machine work, and it's somewhere hidden in their first adventure. So that's all Ben and Johnny know. It's their first adventure. So where are they going to go? Monster Island, of course. Going back to the Silver Age. Going back to the very beginning of the Marvel universe, the comics universe, the superhero Silver Age comics. And taking us to Monster Island. But it's not really their first adventure. I thought this was really cute. I'm just going to show what their first adventure was. So there's a flashback here when Victor Von Doom wins an award. And then Ben and Reed break into the school to replace the M with an F, becoming Victor Von Doof. That's what Reed considers their first adventure. And I love that, because that's the kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff you're going to see in here. There's a lot of serious things in here, because this is a family that is grieving the loss of family, including kids, Valeria and Franklin. They don't know if they're ever going to see them again. And also, there's a little bit of lightheartedness to this. So, with them, they, of course they're going to go through a multiverse. They are joined by this young lady here, who makes her first appearance in the first issue of Marvel 2-in-1. And this is Rachna, Dr. Rachna, or maybe Dr. Rachna, not sure how to pronounce that. So she is in on the adventure, and she herself has secrets. And they go through a different multiverse. Now, I'm not going to spoil everything that they see in the multiverse, and, alternate realities tend to have fun. I still love alternate realities. They're some of my favorite stories. I don't care how many tropes they use. I don't care how many times I've seen them. Days of Future Past really set the bar high, so it's hard to top that, even with Age of Apocalypse and things like that. But, or Kingdom Come for that matter, I still enjoy reading All of them. And that's what you're going to see in here. I will say, if you ordered the Galactus HasLab, if you kickstarted that or helped fund that, rather, the extra head that didn't make any sense comes from one of these stories in here. So that's what the first really 6 issues are about, is setting up these characters that are going to be traveling through different parts of the multiverse. There's the annual in here that focuses more on the Thing and Doctor Doom. And then the last 6 issues. Okay, so really quickly, I've never read this stuff. I've never read the single issues. I never read the trade paperbacks. And I just knew about it. So this was my first time reading it when I got the book in. I'm not kidding. This was going to be one of my top 10 reads this year. Those first 6 issues are so full of heart, so full of just beautiful artwork by Jim Chung and Valerio Schetti. Now, it's still a good book. I'm not saying that it was a bad book. It just, how do I put this without spoiling anything? It's just a lot different than I was expecting. It seems like what ended up happening was Chip Zdarsky was told, hey, you know how you had this plan for 25 issues, 26 issues, whatever it was, because it feels like that. You need to wrap it up within the last 3 issues. And I think that's what happened. That's why the last 3 issues feel rushed, to say the least. And on top of that, there's things in the last issue that you'll have to read Dan Slott's run of Fantastic Four, especially issue number 1, to see where it all fits in, that final issue here. The final image, I will say, pulls at the heartstrings. But yeah, I don't know what it was, but I was not the biggest fan of the last 6 issues of this run. The artwork here is by Ramon Perez. He's the one that drew the last 6 issues. And I know it's an unfair comparison when comparing it to like one of my favorite artists, right? And it's all a matter of taste anyway. It's all subjective. But, you know, you have Jim Chung with his detailed art. Very, just, he knows how to draw emotion rather well. And then you have artwork here from Ramon Perez. So I will say Battle World is involved, and the last 2 issues are a little bit confusing with some jumping around in time. But I think Zdarsky did what he could with the time he was given. Now, as far as the extras, we've got the variant covers all the way in the back. So we've got one here from Alex Ross, Arthur Adams, and John Malin, John Tyler Christopher, who does a lot of the toy variants. This is Joe Jusko, phenomenal painter. Probably most people remember his trading card set, like the X-Men trading card set that he had in the 90s. I think they started coming out with those variants here lately. And then we have some John Byrne, Jack Kirby. These are the, what are they called? The remastered variants. Yeah, remastered variants and the 100th variant. And then you have the Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott 1985 t-shirt variant. So it looks like you get splash pages of variants and thumbnails of others. I always wonder who gets to decide what's a thumbnail and what is a splash page. To me, I would love to see all of this in splash pages. That is like this piece right here by Mike Del Mundo is gorgeous. There's Nick Bradshaw. I can't remember the artist, but there was an artist that quoted, "I judge everyone's art by the way they draw Ben Grimm the Thing." So Old Blue Eyes. So if they can't draw the Thing, I know I'm not going to enjoy their artwork. That always stuck with me, and I cannot remember the artist to properly quote them on that. So if you know out there, please leave it in the comments. Now, the book retails for $39.99. I forgot to say this is felt tan, and has 296 pages. As far as the binding, not really an eye at all. But with 300 pages, do you even, or less than 300 pages, do you even need it? I think it would help, especially with spread pages. But in all seriousness, I think there might be like 1 or 2 spreads in this whole volume. Zdarsky doesn't really write a lot of spread pages during the Marvel 2-in-1. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely in an excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for your Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this hardcover. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on picking it up, if you've already read the stories, if you've got them in trade paperback format, if you read them in individual issues as they were coming out, or if you've never read it and you're going in completely blind. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Leave all your questions down below in the comment section. I promise I get back to all of them. And more importantly, all of you stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.